Hello, everyone. So, I wanted to start out by first saying thank you to everyone who has been watching and responding and replying and sending questions and having positive words to say to my videos. I just got off of my work week stretch and I still have my work clothes on. It is almost 10 o'clock at night, but I had promised to make a couple of videos and answer some questions and then get to do them earlier in the week. Just a little bit of information. I am currently preparing, sorry for the movement, for a pageant, the Miss Wisconsin United States pageant in the category of Miss Woman Wisconsin. So I've had an extremely busy calendar, and this week has been busy preparing, trying to get to the gym in the last minute, and then I had to work. And let's not forget the whole mom thing. So, the topic of this particular video is going to address what are my recommendations for those that are parents that are going to be entering physician assistant school, nursing school, etc., etc. Forgive my movement. This is not a phone, it's my laptop in my bed. Someone asked once. Yes, that's me up there. So, for people who are new to my channel, have never watched my videos, when I started PA school, I actually had twins that were 10 months, I believe. Sometimes I get confused if they were 8 or 10 months, but they were not 1 year old. And then I had a 6-year-old son. And I made it through the program. My little babies are now 9 years old and my son is 16. But at the time, I did not think much of having kids. I was the only one in my class that had kids at the time. So I definitely had to take on different study strategies. One thing that I did learn, it was like a trial by error. Let's just talk about my first semester. So the first semester of me being in PA school, I thought it was kind of like undergrad for nursing school. And I'm one of those people who retains a lot of information easily. And I didn't spend a whole bunch of time studying. Yeah, that was not the case with PA school. I learned very quickly that I need to develop some study strategies because we needed to have a 3.0 GPA to stay in the program. And you couldn't have, I believe, a certain number of C's. Man, let me tell you, my first semester progress report, I had only an A in medical terminology, C's everywhere else. And you are talking about panic, stress, wondering if you have chosen the right thing. But what I knew I had to do was kick everything into gear and bust my butt studying. But I had to do it differently. I couldn't just look at information and just retain it. So first, what I recommend is finding out what is your studying style. Do you learn best by writing notes? Are you a visual learner? Like me, I'm a visual person. If I read it and I write it down, it's like I've written it down in my brain and then it works. Are you an auditory learner? Like you need to hear it and hear it over and over again because then you may need a recorder. Are you someone who needs to kind of work it out? That's not going to always be the case because there are a lot of subjects that require rote memorization, meaning take it in, spit it back out. It's not really application. So learning style. Groups. How do you work in groups? You will find that when you are in graduate school, you will be kind of forced to work in groups, which is, kind of indicative of the working world. We are working with people from all different areas and all different disciplines, so it's important that you're able to work in groups. But studying style. Are you that person who gets into a group and then you just gossip and talk, and now you wasted 2 hours doing catching up on everything social and not achieve the study goals. If that's the case, group study may not be for you. Um, my recommendations are, yeah, find out your study style and then set time for it. What I did was I would set time on the weekends. Like this is my job. PA school was my job at the time. And I would make breakfast. I had babysitters in place for even a few hours. And I couldn't study at home because if I was at home, I'm going to take a nap, clean up whatever looked dirty. So home was not the best study environment. So I would get my kids together, take them to a sitters, and then I would go down to the school library, sit and study until I couldn't. And me being a visual person, I have to usually rewrite notes, highlight things, read it, draw a diagram, something to make it applicable and memorable for myself. And I also became very particular about setting times. So you will have a schedule, and some programs run like 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and some days may work better to get to school earlier versus staying later to study. I never studied past 10 o'clock at night. I need sleep. And in all reality, staying up to 2, 4 o'clock in the morning, you are not retaining anything. If you did not learn it, you didn't learn it. There's some things you can kind of put in your short-term memory bank and squeeze it in, but in all actuality, that whole studying to 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning before a test does not work for me. There were times where I would get to school maybe an hour or two earlier and get some studying in to kind of spread the studying out, because you have to understand you are learning a lot of different subjects. The material can be heavy in certain areas. You may have some exams like 3 times a week, 4 times out the week. There's always something that's going on. So that was another strategy I had. Get there earlier or stay a little bit later. Do not stay up past a certain time because you have a family. You have kids that are going to need attention. If they are in school, you need to help them with their homework. If you are married, you have to spend some time with that person that you're married to or anything like that. The whole social life thing, though, that was all out the window. I did very sparingly social things, and that was probably kids' birthday parties, holiday gatherings where I was already off of work. My other piece of advice is if you're having a young baby, I believe someone asked the question and they're going to have a very young baby, newborn. Just know that you're not going to get any good sleep because new babies come without much sleep. And I just strongly recommend a good support system. You cannot make it through the program without something in place. So if you have the financial means to pay for child care, it's going to be a sacrifice, short-term pain for long-term gain. If you have family that are offering their support, take it. Don't be one of those, oh, no, you need it, so take it. Also, I would say that my other strategy for PA school and being a parent is realizing some things are going to take priority over others. Do not sit there and set the goal to have straight A's, that you need to have the 99, 98% on the test because that's all that you were used to when you're undergraduate. You have to set realistic goals. The person who finishes last in PA school is still a PA as long as they pass their boards. Same thing applies to nursing school as long as you pass your boards. So being an overachiever and having straight A's as your goal is not going to be much benefit to you if you're overly stressed, not getting sleep, not taking care of your kids, because you can't neglect them. So when I say prioritize, say you have 4 exams in a week and the class is, one class is probably, I don't know, 5 credits, because it can be like that, 3 credits, and then you have a 1 credit class with a test. Like you have to prioritize where you're going to put all your energy into and where your grade's going to have the biggest bang. It's all strategy. Also, sometimes you just need to realize, hey, I need to take a little study break, a break from studying. That's life. We have to let our brains recharge, and make sure you have an outlet. No matter what you're doing, if you have kids or not, you should have an outlet, because the program is stressful and it's not impossible to perform well, but you definitely have to make a plan, set goals, come up with study strategies, use your time wisely. That sounds like an old teacher saying it, right? But use your time wisely. Um, and know that the end goal is to finish. Do not stress yourself any more than what you need to be. You're going to be stressed some. I'm just a realist, and that's part of life. We are learning how to work in people's lives, save their lives, intervene, medically manage. So, yes, any parents that are looking for any type of advice, that's the best advice I have for right now, unless you send me further questions. If you have anything in particular that you want to know about what I did, how am I surviving now, and any other questions, I hope you found the video to be beneficial, and I wish you the best of luck. God bless.